Hello, how you doing? Okay, so in the Best Band series, I got to do the Grateful Dead, right? The Grateful Dead. Um, so the Grateful Dead, they're a band that, an example of a band that is part of my like life history. Like I, my life changed, but at a Grateful Dead concert. I went on this incredible acid trip in the parking lot, and then ended up fleeing and running into Long Beach, which is us from Southern Orange County. Long Beach was like a rough neighborhood to me, And I'm alone, a teenager, like walking around, just like it's a long story, but it was the beginning of what led me into the interest into theology, into the question of whether there's a God or not, because I became an atheist, and not because of the Grateful Dead, because of the LSD, but the Grateful Dead. The thing of like, if wow, the parking lot scene, and there's a documentary on this playlist about the parking lot scene. It's not just the music. Some people don't even really care about the music. Like in my high school in Southern California, back in the '80s, whenever the Dead was in town, you would it'd be 2 or 3 days in in town, and so the Deadheads would all camp out in the parking lot, and that would be, if you're looking for some LSD, you might be able to find some, because in Southern California, ooh, and the cops would just circle around it and just say, they knew that there was drugs and all kinds of stuff going on, but they're just like, you guys just stay in the parking lot and we'll pretend like we didn't see that, okay? And so if you're leaving, they didn't like that, because they're like, oh, no, no, just stay in this area. This is where all you guys are. And, anyway. So their parking lot scene is incredible, but that's part of why this is relevant to the music. And that's what my main point here is, because the thing about the Grateful Dead is there's something about the Grateful Dead they're a really good band. They ought to be a really good band to a lot of different people, because of like there's something in there for everybody, if you like skeletons and a little bit of bad boy bad girl, like if you want like a rebel direction, they have that. It's in there. If you want it to be like really wholesome and spiritual and just really good and down to earth, almost anything you could want, like for children or for old people, or for old people don't want it too heavy but a little bit crazy, it's like it's just like there's something in there for everybody and it fits for it. So no wonder that must have something to do with why they ended up being the band that all the hippies would follow around with such loyalty and everything. Their music's good, but what about them made that happen? Because you would go and it's just like the another world, a hippie world. You're, whoa, I just entered into this hippie realm, and there's like baby hippies and hippies all over the place. And some people are naked, not really, but it's like, like, yeah. Then comes the rainbow gathering, and things like that. But yeah, so I'm definitely a deadhead, and to me they're part of my, I mean, there's more with me, like there's spiritual connections with the deadhead. I used to have skeleton key, which is like some people can even turn it into a religion. It gets so deep, and so there's like a Bible thing you can get called the skeleton key, and it basically makes a religion of the whole deadhead, the whole entire package, which is a lot. I just really recommend, and like you're like, oh, I want to have one or two bands from the '60s, like way back, way back, like what besides the Beatles. Everybody knows about the Beatles, and I've heard of the Rolling Stones, but I just kind of like the Beatles. I want like one other band from the past, who, the Monkees, or like who, and so yeah, Grateful Dead, consider them, they're so good.